Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, transforming the way people think and work so their organizations can thrive. Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and with me today is Shawn Parikh. Shawn is the founder and CEO of Entigrity and myCPE Group. In his role, he spearheads company operations, cementing the relationships that Entigrity has had with accounting community globally. Shawn oversees the service conceptualization, strategy creation, administration, and finance. Shawn's strategic vision and leadership led to the expansion and diversification of Entigrity in several areas over the years. He understands the staffing-related challenges plaguing the accounting community. Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, Shawn Parikh.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you for inviting me to the podcast. I'm looking forward to speak with you today.
Well, first off, Shawn, why do you do what you do?
Well, to put it simply, we all have to do something. So I'm doing this, but I did my accountancy studies and I did my practice in India before migrating to America. And when I was doing this, we saw that a lot of small accounting firms are having this big challenge of staffing. And then what we also observed that was Big Four and larger accounting firms are actually kind of mitigating some of these staffing challenges. Although there are a lot of solutions around it, technology being one of them, automation being another one. A lot of these larger accounting firms and Big Fours are building their own offshore teams. They have this huge offices. I was reading an article probably yesterday where all Big Fours are put together, are planning to hire about 50,000 staffers. Deloitte in America is going completely remote. So that's where we thought that if we are able to bring this solution to smaller firms, to mid-size accounting firms, kind of democratize this, offshore staffing for firms, which cannot actually go offshore and build their own offices. We become the bridge for them, and kind of help them in building their team, which they control and manage and train. So that's where we came in. And we formed Entigrity to help these accounting firms in building their own offshore teams. So our objective was to kind of help small and mid-sized accounting firms. I, as a professional, have been a big advocate of small businesses because I always say small businesses are going to be a big job creators for world, 2021 and beyond. Digitization has created one big negative impact is bigger players have become more bigger. So small businesses need to survive, and we all need to find things which can foster small businesses. And this was my purpose behind what I'm doing, to help small businesses, small firms and mid-sized firms.
So tell me about the problems that you're seeing created with the fact that while there are more accounting graduates today coming out, at least in the U.S., fewer are going into public accounting. So why do you suppose that is? And two, what's really to be done about it, if anything?
Well, maybe public accounting is perceived being old school, which I think it's not. A lot of opportunities in public accounting are very, very forthcoming and forward-looking. But yeah, it's an interesting fact. Even I am kind of puzzled that more accounting graduates are coming in, and they are choosing industry and other businesses or public accounting. Probably, this number that an average accountant or average partner or an owner in an accounting firm is beyond 50. So that's kind of interesting fact. And that gives us as a business an opportunity as well, that these people need that help. So how are we solving that problem? First, the staffers that we have offshore, the average age of that staffer is about 28 or 29. So their work speed, their work ethics, their productivity, their adaptability, their understanding of technology is far better than somebody who is in the later part of their career. So that kind of helps a little bit in catching up to the nuances of the profession. But why people are not coming to the profession. I personally think that public accounting needs to change its perception. And I'm not saying that to add some kind of a glam quotient to it, but but at least work around a situation where we create more awareness about the profession, about public accounting as an industry, the opportunity around it. We always talk about advisory opportunities, we talk about consulting opportunities. So this is all not going to remain in big fours and larger firms. This is all going to come, and is coming into the smaller firms today because of democratization of staffing, technology, availability of insights, and more partners and senior professionals coming into public accounting. So because small accounting firms are increasing, staffing problem is also increasing. And we started this way back in 2014, when remote working was not that normal, and we had to educate that offshoring is somebody working in another city, or outside your office. So pandemic has definitely changed a lot of things for us. We grew 1.3, 1.4x. So whatever we did in 7 years, we did in the last 18 months. So that has been a big game changer for the industry as a whole. The perception around offshore staffing or building offshore team has dramatically changed. So pandemic, you can say a lot of things, is working in tandem. First, technology upgradation in firms happened because of pandemic. More and more firm migrated to cloud. Staffing challenges kind of increased post pandemic, and people went working remotely. That opened up the dimensions of thinking that if you are working remotely, and if why not hire somebody offshore if those guys are equally competent and can communicate in the same language.
So I got a question for you. So you've been growing since 2014, and you say that your average age is about 28, 29. Is that because you've continued to grow and hired younger and younger people, or is there kind of a transition that people make when they come into your organization and then leave, and you just continuously bring in younger folks? Just curious about that.
Well, we bring in younger folks. So our average age at which we hire would be about 26, 27. And this ecosystem is also young in India. It's not that it has been this accounting and tax ecosystem of US or Canada is very old. It's a decade old system. So you don't have that talent with 15 years of experience or 18 years of experience. The talent that is available is about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years of experience that you have. So we definitely hire very young audience, and we have been adding more and more people. It's not year on year, it's month on month we have been hiring. And situation is such that we had to tell no this month to client that we will not be able to accept any new signups for next 3 months. We have 200 people already pending onboarding. So it is tough right now. So staffing challenges are now coming to India.
Yeah.
It's good that
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, Shawn, we have an exit question that we ask all of our guests, and that is, who is a hero of yours and why are they a hero?
Hero, okay. I'd say that a lot of people influences you. My father influenced me positively about taking risks. He always empowered me and never questioned me on mistakes that I made. Probably that was something that kind of influenced me so much. And my mother was always questioning me, so that was also a positive influence. That she second guessed me always, and she criticized me, that kept feet on the ground. So my wife, I learned from her empathy. IQ is important, but EQ is very much important when you are in a business leadership position. So she has this amazing quality. Even my brother has amazing quality of empathy. So that is something that I value so much, and so much more for me to learn from that quality. Otherwise, I read an autobiography of Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, and his journey of how he came from a small town of India and became a CEO of a multinational company, and then his personal situation where he has two special kids, and how he gave a green card to marry his wife, So it was an interesting journey, and how he transformed the culture of Microsoft. Uh, so there are a lot of heroes. It's a long list. I admire social work by one of leading leaders in tech space, he democratized entrepreneurship in our country, tech entrepreneurship. I call Infosys is the name of the company, and Narayan Murthy is the leader. Uh, I admire Brian Chesky from Airbnb, the amount of impact that they have made through democratizing, this whole ecosystem and building this community. They made deep economic impact on travel, tourism. You know, I was reading this number. Actually, they are an average host on Airbnb makes $8,000 a year, which is like 20% of a per capita income of an American. So it's an amazing, great stories to learn and inspire. Yeah.
And lastly, Shawn, how can somebody contact you?
Well, my email ID is Shawn@integritysolutions.com, ENTIGRITYSOLUTIONS.com. And you can learn more about us on www.entigrity.com. It's ENTIGRITY. People often make mistake in integrity and integrity. It's Entigrity. And myCPE is our EdTech platform. We are trying to transform continuing education space through myCPE, which is www.my-cpe.com, my-cpe.com.
All right. Shawn Parikh, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.
Thank you, Ed, for inviting me, and it was a wonderful conversation.
Review and subscribe by searching your podcast player of choice for Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.